Bible Study Guide, Day 26, Genesis 41 to 42. In Genesis 41, 2 years have passed since Joseph accurately interpreted the dreams of Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker. Now Pharaoh has had 2 troubling dreams and is seeking someone who can interpret them for him. The cupbearer finally remembers Joseph and tells Pharaoh about his ability to interpret dreams. Pharaoh summons Joseph from prison and asks him to interpret his dreams. Joseph, fully aware that it is God who gives interpretations of dreams, humbly tells Pharaoh that he cannot interpret the dreams, but God can. Pharaoh then proceeds to tell Joseph his dreams: 7 plump cows being devoured by 7 thin cows, and 7 healthy heads of grain being swallowed up by 7 withered heads. Joseph immediately knows that the 2 dreams carry the same meaning, and it is a warning from God about 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine. Not only does Joseph interpret Pharaoh's dreams, but he also presents a plan to save Egypt during the upcoming famine. This demonstrates Joseph's wisdom and how God has been preparing him for this moment. Joseph recommends that Pharaoh appoint a wise and discerning man to oversee the collection and distribution of food during the years of abundance. Impressed with Joseph's wisdom, Pharaoh appoints him as second in command over all of Egypt. Joseph, now 30 years old, is put in charge of the entire land of Egypt. He is given a new name, Zaphanath-Paneah, meaning God speaks and he lives. Pharaoh also gives him a wife named Asenath, daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. During the 7 years of abundance, Joseph collects and stores food, preparing for the upcoming famine. He stores up huge amounts of grain, so much that it becomes impossible to keep track of the amount. In these years, Asenath gives birth to 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. After the 7 years of abundance come to an end, the famine begins, just as Joseph had predicted. Joseph opens all the storehouses and sells grain to the Egyptians. The famine is so severe that all of the surrounding countries come to Egypt to buy food from Joseph. As the famine spreads, Jacob and his sons are also affected. Hearing that there is food in Egypt, Jacob sends 10 of his sons to buy grain from Joseph. Benjamin, however, stays behind as Jacob fears for his safety. When Joseph's brothers arrive in Egypt, they bow down before him, fulfilling the dreams he had shared with them many years ago. However, they do not recognize him. Joseph, on the other hand, recognizes his brothers and remembers their betrayal. He accuses them of being spies and puts them in prison for 3 days. On the 3rd day, he offers to release all but one brother if they bring Benjamin to Egypt. The brothers are overcome with guilt and fear as they reflect on their past actions towards Joseph. They believe that this is God's punishment for their sins. Simeon is held as collateral while Joseph gives orders to fill their sacks with grain. Without their knowledge, Joseph also orders for their money to be returned. As the brothers return home, they find the money they had used to purchase grain had been returned in their bags. This further adds to their fear and confusion. When they arrive back in Canaan, they tell Jacob all that had happened and how the governor of Egypt had accused them of being spies. The chapter finishes with Jacob refusing to send Benjamin out of fear of losing both him and Simeon. This sets the stage for the next chapter as Joseph's plan to test his brothers unfolds. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to help us spread the word. God bless you.